Hey guys, this is Donnie. This video is about vacuums. A lot of people ask me, what kind of vacuum cleaner do I use? Uh, what do I recommend? What do I think is the best? Well, I'm gonna tell you what, the vacuum cleaner that I use and recommend, I use the Sanitaire SC679J. Now, they don't make that exact vacuum anymore, but they make one similar to it. It's just like it, but it's just a little bit different number. And if you want to see the vacuums I use, all you gotta do is go into my channel and go back, and I got videos back years ago showing the vacuums that I now own, that I owned back then, which I used back then, I'd use now. Uh, the reason I like Sanitaire is I'll give you a little reason why. When I started out, I used a Bissell Power Force, and it was a non-bagged, it was a canister version. And the problem with it is, you do one bedroom, and the filter would get dirty, the hose would clog, you'd have to take the whole thing apart. Uh, and blow out the filter, tap out the filter, and take a broomstick handle and clean out the hose. It would do that on every room. So a vacuuming of a 3-bedroom place might take you over an hour because you have to stop and clean the vacuum all the time. Well, this got old. So then me and my brother were working together back then. We decided, well, let's get a shop vac. Shop vacs don't clog up. So we got a shop vac, and they work great. They worked real good, but they were big and bulky, and I don't like having to tow the canister behind. Neither did my brother at the time. So we like, well, the shop vac don't clog up, so we can actually instead of taking an hour to vacuum a 3 or 4 bedroom place, we can vacuum a place like in 15, 20 minutes and we always did a checkerboard pattern, north, south, east, west. That's how we did our vacuumings, and they were thorough. And if we post vacuumed, which is what you do after the carpet dries sometimes, we did a north, south, east, west pattern of that too. So we did thorough vacuuming jobs. Uh, but we got tired of the shop vac because although it worked well, it was a big hassle it was a huge thing to have to take to people's houses and stuff like that. So we started thinking, what can we do to get the power of the shop vac and the ability to vacuum without having a major clog, but not have to use a shop vac? And it dawned on us, when we were kids, well, when we were younger, we had Kirby vacuums. Years ago, when we had a business back in the 70s and 80s, we used Kirby's. We had a couple of Kirby's, but I didn't like them. I didn't like the way they worked. I didn't think they'd pick up stuff good, so I was like, well, I told my brother we could get a Kirby, but I don't know if I want to get one because although they'll work and not clog up and stuff, they don't pick up good. So we started looking into the Sanitaires on Amazon, and we ordered one, and man, it worked great. It did everything. It'd pick up anything, and it didn't have issues. The Kirby's, we didn't like them, and we had a couple of them, and they were the kinds that they were expensive. They were $1,100-$1,200 a piece. Uh, so we got the Sanitaires. They were the first one we got. It was the big Sanitaire. I always said it looks like a hammerhead shark. Uh, it's a great big vacuum, area-wide vacuum, and it would vacuum a room fast. It had tons and tons of power. But that was kind of big, although it worked good. We wanted something a little bit smaller, so we ended up getting the Sanitaire SC679J. And the reason we got it was you could buy them for $115 on Amazon. Uh, they were 5-horse vacuums. The big Sanitaire was 7-horse. And 5-horse and 7-horse is both super powerful. The thing that's nice about them is they're a dirty air vacuum, so there's no bag liner in them. You could vacuum for 2 solid hours, and you're not going to fill the bag up. And when you do, you just take it outside and shake it out and come back in and get back to work again. You could vacuum all day long with one of these and never have an issue. And there's no filters, there's no hoses. The bag is the filter, but there is no issue with anything. So that's how we got into these vacuums, and they are very, very good. Both our vacuums, one has a VG1 brush row, the other one has a VG2 brush row. But they're metal brush rows. They're high quality vacuums, and the brush rows. Another thing about them, when you buy a vacuum like at the store, the grocery store, most of them will have an aggressive brush row to make up for the lack of vacuum. So they'll have a real aggressive brush row that'll actually it'll tip bloom the carpets. Sanitaires, they have so much power, they just have a basic soft brush row. It will not damage the carpet. They'll vacuum the carpets. They got the power to pull the stuff, they got the suction and stuff to pull the dirt out. The brush rolls, it's mild. It'll just loosen the stuff up to come to the vacuum, but they'll pull everything out and not do any damage to the carpeting. So, and you can vacuum all day long with one. So that's why we got the sanitaires. We got the sanitaires because we simply got sick of messing with cheaper vacuums that had canisters. The canister vacuums are neat, but they clog a lot. Now, the Dysons, I mean, if you want to spend money, you can get them where they're multi-cyclonic, and that's not this big an issue, but still, you can't beat like a sanitary vacuum. And another thing, they don't have an edge tool. They don't need one. They hit the edges good, so you don't need to have a separate tool for that. So you just drive along the edge nice and slow, and you'll pick up your edges. You don't need an edge tool. So anyway, but people ask me, what kind of vacuum do I use? What do I recommend? Well, I recommend the sanitaires. Any of the dirty air vacuums. You can get them with, if you get them with where you put refill bags in them instead of the dirty air kind, you can actually use them for post vacuum, and you can vacuum a carpet and pre-vacuum, and then when you're done, even if the carpet's wet, you can post vacuum because the water's just going to go into the paper bag, and then you throw it out. And you change bags per job, and you can post vacuum wet carpets with a sanitaire. You can't post vacuum with a lot of vacuums, or you'll get water up into your motors on these on most of your vacuums. Sanitaires, you can use them for dirt. You can use them for wet carpets if you have a paper bag in them. So we don't use the paper bag kinds, but we could convert ours over and make them paper bag if we wanted to. But anyway, if you want to know what kind of vacuum I recommend the sanitaires. I'd say stay away from all the other stuff. I mean, there's a lot of hype, people using different kind of vacuums because other people are using them. Just avoid all that and just get a sanitaire. Sanitaires, they do go through, they go through the bands. I can't remember what they're called now. But the belts, you'll go through belts, but buy a bunch of belts, and a belt will last you quite a few jobs, and belts are cheap. And replace your belts as needed and get a sanitaire. And you'll have a better vacuuming with a sanitaire than you will with any other vacuum out there. I mean, I've used them all. I've used Kirby's, Dyson's. Sanitaire beats everybody. Now, I do have a Bissell PowerForce bag vacuum, and I recommend it because it's bagged. But I don't use it all the time. I use it like on really small jobs. But when I have a big place to vacuum, or I'm going to be vacuuming for at least 20 or 30 minutes or more, I get the sanitaire out. The Bissell I use if I got like a bedroom. They have small paper bags. You got to refill them all the, you got to purchase bags all the time, and that's a hassle to me. I don't like doing that. So the Bissell PowerForce, it works pretty good, but I don't like messing around with it. So I pretty much use the sanitaires on any vacuuming I do. So anyway, maybe I'll make some vacuum videos in the near future, but I have a number of vacuum videos on my channel. All you got to do is go back. My channel just recently, I just restarted it up about 5 weeks ago. And the last video from that would be about 6, 7, 8 years ago. So this channel's been around a long time, but I recently revamped it. So anyway, I've got videos of vacuums if you want. It's a CM of me of when I was working with my brother, and we do thorough vacuuming jobs. When we do real good vacuuming. So go check it out and see for yourself and decide if you want to get a sanitaire. Because trust me, I've used all the vacuums. Just get a sanitaire and don't waste time with all these other vacuums. The sanitaire is it. So you want to know what I like? There you go. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.